Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another live stream watch along on the Dibbly-Dobbly podcast. It's BBL action. It's the Sydney Thunder versus the Perth Scorchers from the Sydney Showgrounds Stadium. Match number 39 of the BBL, and it's going to be an important game. Both teams are well placed on the table, and they'll be looking to get maximum points tonight in what should be a very interesting match. David Warner returns for the Sydney Thunder. He will be playing in the Big Bash for the first time since the early years of the Big Bash when he played for the Sydney Thunder. So he's back tonight playing for the Thunder, and it's sure to be an exciting game for David Warner in his BBL comeback. But thanks for joining us, everyone. BBL action. The international summer may be over, but we still have some BBL action to entertain us as we get towards the business end of the summer here in Australia. So just recapping the toss, and the Perth Scorchers won the toss. They chose to bowl first, and they backed their bowling attack to take wickets early and put the opposition under pressure. We certainly saw that in the last game from the Scorchers when they played against the Brisbane Heat. Let's have a look at the 11s for tonight's game for the Sydney Thunder. They're 11. Warner, Gilkes, Whiteman, Davies, Ross, Sams, Cutting, McAndrew, Green, Doggett, and Kadir. And for the Perth Scorchers, they're playing 11 for tonight is Bancroft, Eskenazi, Hardy, Inglis, Turner, Hobson, Nashanaga, Kelly, Ty, Payne, and Morris. And umpires for tonight, on-field umpires, Paul Wilson, Simon Lightbody. Third umpire, Jared Abood. Fourth umpire, Andre Hamilton, and match referee Dave Gilbert. So there we go. That's the key information there. So the news is that the Perth Scorchers won the toss. They're going to have a bowl first, and the Thunder are going to be having a bat first. See what sort of total or target they can set the Scorchers in this game tonight. But the BBL slowly approaching the business end of the BBL once we get to the finals and who's going to win the whole tournament. The Scorchers look like the firm favourites who are developing at the moment. They look pretty strong. They won the tournament last year. They're looking for back-to-back titles. They could do the same again. No doubt it's going to be an interesting BBL race to the finals. That's for sure. But thanks for joining us, everyone. Let's just have some fun and watch a bit of BBL action. And we're not far away from the match beginning. Just recap it again. The Scorchers won the toss. They chose the bowl. And the Sydney Thunder have been put in to bat first. And it'll be interesting to see how they go about it. They've got to put a good score on the board. Try and defend it later on tonight with the ball if they can. But no doubt it's going to be a very interesting game. Two teams who are well placed in the BBL table, the Thunder and the Scorchers. So it should be a good game tonight. And let's hope we can have a great game of T20 cricket. So we're not moments away from the game starting. And it'll be the Sydney Thunder who will be batting first. The Scorchers have won the toss. They've decided to bowl first, and that's sort of their strength in this BBL. Bowling first, looking to restrict opposition sides to a low score and take early wickets. No doubt that will be the plan for the Perth Scorchers. So the players are coming onto the field. Match number 39 of the BBL. It's the Thunder and the Scorchers from Sydney. And David Warner makes his return to the BBL for the first time in ages. He played for the Sydney Thunder in the early years. And now he's back looking to restart his BBL career, which has stopped a little bit. He has been playing in the BBL for some time. So the Scorchers making their way out to the field, along with the Sydney Thunder opening batters. And they'll be looking to make this an exciting game. And the Scorchers, well placed on the BBL table. They're top of the table. The Thunder are in the top echelon. So the Thunder will be hoping to break the winning streak from the Scorchers. The Scorchers won the last few games they've played. They're in red hot form. They're looking good. And no doubt it's going to be quite an interesting game tonight to see which way this game will go. David Warner, he'll be looking to get some runs, looking to get off to a good start in this BBL, his first game of the season. And the test summer is over, so the test players are making their way back to the BBL to play a few games before the Australian test team goes off to India, which will be a big series for that test series in February. But they can play a few BBL games before that. And no doubt they will want to make a significant contribution to the franchises and help them in terms of trying to push for the finals. So it's going to be Matthew Gilkes. He's going to be on strike. David Warner will be at the non-strikers end. Early days in his career. He's only played 36 matches. So becoming a seasoned veteran. David Warner at the non-strikers end. And he'll be eager to get some runs tonight if he can. Well, David Warner has only played 4 games in the BBL. He's got 100 in those 4 games as well. So it's been a while since he's played in the BBL. David Warner, he'll be hoping to contribute. And it's going to be David Payne, who I believe is on debut tonight for the Scorchers. He will be in charge with bowling the first over of the match. Haven't seen too much of him. So making his debut tonight, the Scorchers trying different players. And here we go, not far away now from the start of this game. It's the Thunder and the Scorchers. Payne into Gilkes. And Gilkes swinging a miss outside off stump. Good start from the Scorchers. And there's no run. Well, he went flashing at a wide one there, Gilkes. Couldn't quite connect it. Just trying to get his eye in there. But good start from the Scorchers. Looking to take early wickets in this power play. The Thunder looking to get off to a good start if they can in these 4 overs as Payne continues to Gilkes. Gilkes outside edge and taken. Gone. Second ball. Gilkes is gone for a second ball duck. And the first wicket has fallen for the Thunder. Payne on debut for the Scorchers. Takes a wicket. Outside off stump. He went searching for the ball. Gilkes. He was fending. Got an edge and straight through to Inglis, the keeper. Takes a very good catch. Down to his left. And a perfect start for the Perth Scorchers. They're off and running. First wicket down for the Thunder. And Gilkes, he's got to go for a second ball duck. Not what he wanted. He's gone for a duck, Gilkes. It's 1 for none. Good start from the Scorchers. Good bowling from Payne. The first 2 balls were right on the money. First one was a plain miss outside the off stump from Gilkes. And then the second ball, he nicked it. Got the outside edge and got the reward. It's going to be Sam Whiteman. He's from Western Australia. Used to play for the Scorchers. Now moved over to the Thunder. So he's the new batter at the crease at number 3. And early trouble for the Thunder, but for the Scorchers, they're up and about. Payne in again. This time to Whiteman. And Whiteman works it to mid-wicket for no run. Top ball there. Good start. 3 good deliveries to begin this first over of the match. Pressure on the Thunder early. And they'll be hoping to just see off this initial period, just get into their work. But pressure on the Thunder. Payne to Whiteman. And this one traps Whiteman on the pads. The ball trickles to the slip cordon. And there's no run. Well, right on the money from Payne. First 4 deliveries, 3 deliveries, and have been right on the money. Giving nothing to the Thunder batsman. Just getting a bit of shape as well, a bit of swing with this new ball. Payne in to Whiteman, and Whiteman drives straight back to Payne for no run. So Sam Whiteman getting some contact with bat on ball, but hits it straight back to the bowler. Couldn't get it past him for runs. It's been a good start from the Thunder. From the Scorchers. The Thunder 1 for none, not in good position here. Payne in to Whiteman, and Whiteman works it past backward point for a couple of runs. In the end, they get a couple, and that's the end of the first over. It's 1 for 2. Good start from the Scorchers. Right on the money. Payne on debut. And he's already got his first BBL wicket, so he's in on the action, and no doubt that will boost his confidence for the remainder of this game. But good start there. Early wickets are the key in a T20 match for the bowling side. Get early wickets, put the opposition under pressure. And no doubt that's what the Scorchers have done here. David Warner on strike to Lance Morris, who's been a part of the Australian Test side. He's in the Test squad for India. There's a lot about Lance Morris. He can bowl quick, left arm, chomping at the bit to play some cricket. Been touring with the Australian Test squad all summer. He hasn't really got an opportunity to play a game of cricket. Gets his opportunity tonight. He's going to be bowling to Warner. So Morris into Warner. Warner works it through square leg. He'll pick up a single. David Warner off the mark. First BBL game for him for quite some time. Just got one on the pads, and he was able to whip that through square leg for a single. And he is off the mark. And he begins his innings. Lance Morris, he'll be excited to be a part of the touring squad to India for Australia, and hoping to get an opportunity if it does present itself, potential debut maybe. Morrison again to Whiteman. And Whiteman, leading edge, works his way on to the offside and straight down the throat of the fielder at third man. He tried to whip it onto the leg side, Whiteman, but he got a leading edge and it went to third man, not where he intended the ball to go. And he's gone for 2. Morris has got his first, and the Thunder lose their second. They're in trouble early on here. And that's a good wicket there for the for the Scorchers. He tried to go through mid-wicket, through the leg side, Whiteman, but got a leading edge, as I said. And it just carried straight to third man, and not a good shot from Whiteman. He's got to go. He's gone for 2. It's 2 for 3. Very good start from the Scorchers. A couple of early wickets into the second over already. The Thunder are 2 for 3. In trouble early. We'll have to get a partnership here pronto. Ollie Davies comes to the crease. Young player, only 22 years old. He's played a few BBL games. This is his 25th BBL match, but he's in the pressure cooker now. As Morris in to Davies. Davies works this full delivery off his pads through mid-wicket for a single. He's off the mark with a couple of runs for him, off the mark with a 2. Looking just to get through this initial period. The Thunder looking just to get through this period if they can, and hoping to just see off this initial burst from the Perth Scorchers. But the Scorchers well on top. Morris in to Davies. And Davies defends this short ball out to the fielder at cover for a dot ball. 2 for 5. 2 balls left of the second over. Pressure early for the Thunder. Lance Morris bowling well, good pace. And he'll be hoping to get a few more wickets here. but not a good start for the Thunder. A couple of wickets lost, 2 down for 5. Morris in to Davies. And Davies defends on the back foot. Back down the pitch for no run. Looking just to see off this over. And hoping to build a partnership with David Warner at the other end. And that will be the plan. Good over so far from Morris. 3 from it and a wicket. A couple of dots. Last ball of the second over. Morris in to Davies. This one a short delivery and Davies ducks underneath it. Lets it go through to the keeper for a dot ball. It's the end of the over. It's 2 for 5. After 2. And Perth Scorchers well on top in this match. A lot of work for the Thunder to do. David Warner still out there on 1. He's seen quite a few wickets fall at the other end. A couple of wickets. Gilks and Whiteman, who was the last wicket to fall. He'll be hoping that Davies can get a partnership with him and get the Thunder back on track. But it's going to be Payne to continue. He bowled the first over. Coming back to bowl his second on debut. David Warner adjusting his gloves. Just getting ready to face up. This first delivery from Payne to begin a new over. Payne in to Warner. And Warner works this short delivery onto the leg side for a single. And he moves on to 2. Thunder 2 for 6. Looking to get a partnership going. And it's an important game for both teams in terms of consolidation in their positions on the BBL table. Both teams are heavily placed. Scorchers on top, and I believe the Thunder are around about 3rd place on the table. So once we get to the business end of the BBL, these games in terms of wins are very important for points. Payne in to Davies, and this one is a short and wide delivery outside off stump. Davies drives through the covers, and they will race away to the cover boundary for 4. First boundary of the match. It took a while for the Thunder to get their first boundary. It came in the 3rd over, but short and wide delivery from Payne there, and Davies was able to work that nicely through the covers to register the first boundary for the Thunder. Hopefully that will get them going. Payne into Davies, and this one, Davies defends for no run. Thunder 2 for 10. Lost a couple of early wickets. Looking to rebuild, consolidate. David Warner, first BBL game for him for some time. He's at the other end on 2. Davies is on strike. He's on 6. Payne in again to Davies. This one short, and Davies flashes at this through backward point for 4. Third man can't cut it off. Couple of boundaries now for the Thunder. Trying to get them going in this innings. Trying to get some momentum. And Davies, he just thrashed the hands at that. It was a wide delivery again outside off stump. He got it past backward point, and the fielder at third man couldn't come around to cut off that boundary. It went very fast on this outfield here in Sydney. But nonetheless, 4 runs onto the turtle. Payne in to Davies. This one, Davies mistimes it, hits it straight to the fielder at mid-wicket for no run. Looking to hit that big onto the leg side, but didn't quite time it. In the end, dot ball. But a productive over from the Thunder. Good to see. Payne in to Davies, and Davies works this to extra cover for a single to end the 3rd over. End of the over, 2 for 15. Good over from the Thunder. 2 for 15 after 3. Lost a couple of wickets early on, but that last over's just got them back going again in this match. Perth Scorchers will be very pleased with how this game has started. A couple of early wickets is what they need to just get their confidence up and looking to get some more wickets here. It's Morris to continue. He bowls to Davies, and Davies dispatches this to the boundary for 4. That's his third boundary, Davies. He's taken the ownership upon himself to be the main aggressor. And he's on 15 of 10 deliveries. David Warner's on 2 off 2. Good first ball there from Morris. Not a good first ball there from Morris. It went for 4. Not a good place to start as a bowler, to start your spell. You'll be hoping to land the ball right back on the spot. Morris to Davies. Davies works this short delivery around the corner, behind square on the leg side, down to fine leg for a couple of runs. Good running there. Already 6 runs off the first 2 balls with the boundary and the 2. So pressure on Morris to try and get back into this over. But good from Davies, looking to take the game on. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Easy on the spam, everyone. In the chat, please. Let's not try and spam if we can. Morris. In to Davies. And Davies works this delivery through extra cover for a single. And David Warner on strike for the first time in a while. He's 2 off 2. Davies is on 18 off 12. Done most of the scoring. Thunder 2 for 22. No doubt Richie Benno would be happy with that score there at 2 for 22. But the Thunder getting a partnership, looking to get back into this match and put pressure back on the Scorchers if they can. Morris, first time he's going to be bowling to Warner in this over. Morris in to Warner. Warner works this to point for no run. Opened the face of the bat there, trying to get it past point and glide it down there. But in the end, picked out the fielder at point, and there's no run. So good from Morris. Good couple of deliveries to come back after being hit for 4 for the first ball of the over here. Good to see him. Coming back strongly. Morris in to Warner. This one short. Warner pulls through backwards square leg for 4. Well, he bowls rapid pace, Morris. That was 142 clicks. A short delivery. Warner pulled that delivery. And he did it nicely. Pulled it away to backwards square leg for 4. And that's his first boundary of this innings. He's on off and running. Nicely done from Warner. Good pull shot. And Lance Morris bowling some serious pace. So Morris, last ball of his over. Morris in to Warner. Warner hits this delivery straight to the fielder at mid-on for no run. It's the end of the over, 2 for 26 after 4. And that's the end of the power play. So 2 for 26 after 4, end of the power play for the Sydney Thunder. And they'll take that. Just be happy that no more wickets have fallen. But a couple of wickets fell early on in the innings. But the Scorchers will be very pleased with how they went about things here. In these first 4 overs of this match. So 2 for 26 after the 4 overs. Warner on 6. Davies 18. Sydney Thunder looking to get a partnership and get back going again. So it's going to be Matthew Kelly. He's going to come into the attack for the first time this evening. He's got 47 wickets in his career, which is not bad. He's in now to Davies. This one short. Davies punches it straight to the fielder at backward point for no run. Good start from Kelly to begin his first over of this match. Looking to get a wicket here if he can. Strike for the captain. Good start from Kelly. Dot ball to begin his first over of this match. He's in again now. Top of his mark. He's running in. He's in to Davies. This one, a plain miss from Davies. Through the hands at it, past the outside edge, straight through the keeper for no run. And back-to-back dot balls there for Kelly. This one back of a length, and Davies just thrashed his hands at it, trying to hit that through the covers, but luckily for the funder, didn't get an outside edge on that. And he survives. Here we go. Kelly in to Davies. And Davies pulls this short delivery past mid-wicket for at least a couple of runs. The fielder will cut it off and they'll come back for 2. Good running there. The funder 2 for 28. First runs off this over here. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Hello, Shannon. Thanks for joining us. I hope you're well. For some BBL action. It's the Thunder and the Scorchers from Sydney. Top of the table clash. Kelly into Davies. Short pull. Only just the 2 runs in this over thus far. 3 dot balls from Kelly, which has been a pretty good start from him in his first over. And he'll be hoping to finish off this over strongly. Couple of balls left in the over. So here we go. Kelly in again to Davies. And Davies hits him straight back down the ground for 4. Pass mid-on for 4 runs down the ground. Good shot from Davies. Hit through the line. And another boundary for him onto his tally. Kelly just straying on his length there. That was a bit full. And Davies was able to just loft him over mid-on down the ground for 4. For the first boundary in this over. So Kelly in. Last ball of the over to Davies. This one short, and Davies punches it back down the ground to mid-on for a quick single to end the over. Good running. Good over from the Thunder. A productive over. It's the end of the over. 2 for 33 after 5. 2 for 33 after 5. The Thunder doing a rebuilding job. They lost a couple of early wickets early on in the innings, but they've done well. This partnership, Davies and Warner, mainly Ollie Davies has done most of the scoring. Has sort of got the Thunder back going again in this innings. 2:33 after 5. Davies 25, Warner on 6, and Kelly 7 runs off his first over in that last over. So a productive over nonetheless from the Sydney Thunder. So David Warner, first BBL game for him in some time, making his comeback to the BBL. And he'll be hoping to get a significant contribution tonight. So it's going to be Davies on strike, first ball of this 6th over. Bit of spin now. Ashton Agar into the attack. He's in, he bowls to Davies, and Davies defends on the back foot for no run. Ashton Agar, left-arm orthodox spinner, part of the India tour for Australia in the squad. He's in again to Davies. Davies defends on the front foot again. So no run. Good start from Agar. A couple of dot balls here. But Ashton Agar getting his opportunity to be a part of the test squad to go to India. He's into Davies, and Davies works it through mid-wicket, and he will pick up a single. First runs in this over after a couple of dot balls. David Warner on strike. It's been a while since David Warner had the strike, but he's got the strike back here, and he'll be itching to get a boundary or two away. He's already on 6 or 5. He hasn't had most of the strike. It's been Davies who's done most of the scoring in the partnership. He's 26 off 21. And he's got the Thunder back and going again, got some momentum after the loss of 2 early wickets. Agar in to Warner. Warner cuts this to backward point for no run. Didn't quite get it past the fielder there at backward point, but David Warner looking for run-scoring opportunities. Agar in to Warner. This one's short. Warner hits it back down the ground to Agar. No run. Well, for David Warner, first BBL game for him since December of 2013. It's a long time ago. Agar in to Warner. Warner works it down to long on for a single. He moves on to 7. And Davies will look to continue to add more runs in this partnership. He's 26, and that's the end of the over as well. 6 overs done. Sydney Thunder going about the rebuilding job nicely as they lost a couple of early wickets early on. They'll be hoping to get a score that is competitive, especially with the Perth Scorchers, who have been playing well, playing some good cricket. They've batted well, they've bowled well this season. No doubt they'll need a competitive total. 2 for 35 after 6. Been a good start from the Perth Scorchers. I think they'll be very happy with how things are panning out. Andrew Tye into the attack for the first time this evening. He's had a pretty good BBL career. He's in to Warner, who's on strike. And Warner pulls this short delivery past mid-wicket. The sweeper out there in the deep will cut it off for 2 runs, and they'll come back for the second. Two runs onto the total. 2 for 37 for the Sydney Thunder. Head-to-head in BBL, the Thunder lead 9 wins to the Scorchers 7. Here we go. Tye in again to Warner. And Warner drives straight to the fielder at cover for no run. Dave Warner 9 off 10. Davies 26 off 21. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Some BBL action. Match number 39, the Thunder and the Scorchers from Sydney. And sure to be an exciting game. Both teams well placed on the table. Tye in to Warner. This one short, and Warner tried to pull it. There was an appeal for caught behind. David Warner was a bit late on that shot. He was trying to help it around the corner. There was an appeal from Inglis behind the stumps for a potential caught behind. Probably got an inside edge maybe. But the umpire said not out, so all is well. David Warner survives. Just haven't looked at the replay yet. It was a bit of a short ball there. Well, in the end, it was a short delivery, but just wrapped Warner on the thigh and went straight through the keeper. Tye bowls to Warner, and Warner works it out to the fielder out at deep point. Picks up 1. Good over from Tye. A couple of runs, a couple of dot balls, and a single. It's been a pretty good over from him. First over into the attack. He'll be hoping to get a wicket. He's had a pretty good BBL season with the ball. Be hoping to get a wicket here if he can. Here we go. Tye into Davies. This one short, outside off stump. Davies pulls straight to the fielder out there in the deep on the leg side. In that mid-wicket region for a single. Davies moves on to 27. Well, last ball the over from Tye. So he's in to Warner. And Warner dispatches him straight back down the ground for 4. Good shot from David Warner to end the over. That was a full delivery from Ty, and he was able to just dispatch that straight back over his head down the ground for 4. It's the end of the over, 2 for 43 after 7. And a good shot from David Warner, just starting to get into his work. Andrew Try just straying off his line there in his length. Just a little bit too full. David Warner was able to hit him straight back down the ground for a nice boundary. Good way to finish the over. Ashton Agar to continue. It's going to be more spin. Ashton Agar to continue. He's in. He bowls to Davies, and Davies hits it back down the ground to mid-off for a single. Warner on strike. Ashton Agar. Agar in to Warner. This one short, outside off stump. Warner hits it straight to the fielder out there in the deep on the offside for a single. They were thinking about 2, but the fielder got there quickly, so in the end they only settled for a single. But rebuilding partnership this is from Davies and Warner. Funded lost a couple of wickets early on. Agar into Davies, and Davies dispatches him over deep mid-wicket for 6. Well, he's batting well tonight, Davies. He's really took the attack to the Scorchers. He's 34 off 24. And Agar just not quite getting that delivery right, and Davies good enough for him just to work that over deep mid-wicket for 6. Very nice shot in the end. And good aggression shown by the youngster. Agar in to Davies, and Davies works this delivery down to mid-on for a single. And he moves on to 35. And the 50 up as well for the funder, 2 for 52. And after losing a couple of wickets early on, it's been a good rebuilding partnership. Agar in to Warner, who dispatches this delivery to the fielder in the deep. On the leg side, he'll pick up a single. Sorry, in the end, they picked up 3 runs. It was good running from Davies and Warner. Come back for the 3rd on that previous ball. Agar in to Davies, and Davies dispatches him straight back over his head, over long on for 6. Good way to finish off the over for the funder. It's the end of the over, 2 for 59 after 8. Good shot from Ollie Davies. Nice way to win the over for the funder. Starting to get going now after the loss of a couple of early wickets. This partnership has rebuilt the innings quite nicely. Davies, he's been the main run scorer in this partnership. David Warner's had not much of the strike, but Ollie Davies taking the attack to the Perth Scorchers bowlers, and that's the right way to go about it. Look to attack, be aggressive if you can, and he's certainly done that in that last over to Ashton Agar, not letting him settle. Looking to put him off his line and length, and that's what he did. So Warner on strike to Ty, and this one is a wide delivery outside off stump. Warner trying to make contact on this delivery, but way wide of him outside off stump, straight through to the keeper for no run. Yeah, David Warner just reaching that delivery, couldn't get bat on ball on that. So here we go. Ty in again to Warner. Warner works this through mid-wicket for a single. Short delivery. He was able to work it hip height onto the leg side through square leg mid-wicket region for a single. And rotating the strike nicely, handing over the strike to Davies, who's striking the ball well. 2 for 60 for the Thunder. Good comeback after the loss of 2 early wickets. Scorchers looking to get their 3rd wicket here as Ty but comes in to Davies, and Davies dispatches Ty over his head, over deep mid-wicket for 6. It's another maximum for Davies, and that's a very good shot. 6 runs. He's hit a few sixes tonight, Ollie Davies. And Ty, just a little bit full from Ty. Got his length wrong there. Davies saw that. He pounced on it. And he executed the shot nicely over deep mid-wicket for 6. And the Thunder starting to get motoring after the loss of 2 early wickets. The partnership, Davies and Warner, have got them back on track. Ty, under pressure. In again to Davies. This one short. Davies pulls to deep mid-wicket for a single. And he moves on to 47. It's been a good innings from Davies. And he'll be hoping to continue on and make this a big score. But it's been a very good partnership between Warner and Davies. Here we go. Ty in to Warner. And Warner doesn't time this. It was short, wide outside off stump. And Warner hits it straight to the fielder at cover for no run. So a very good over from the Thunder. 8 runs from it. A couple of dot balls, a couple of singles and a 6. 1 delivery to go, the 9th. Andrew Ty. Got to finish off here. He's in to Warner. And Warner flays him over cover. And the fielder at the deep, on the offside at deep cover, will cut it off for 2. And that's the end of the over. It's 2 for 69 after 9. Two for 69 after 9, 1 over left before the drinks break. The Sydney Thunder have done well in the loss of 2 early wickets. A rebuilding partnership between Davies and Warner has got the Thunder back and motoring again. Hello, Raj. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining us. Sydney Thunder back on track after a loss of a couple of early wickets. Davies has batted well. David Warner has been quiet in the partnership. I'm well, Raj. I hope you're well as well. I'm doing great. So it's going to be changing the bowling. It's going to be Kelly. Matt Kelly going to bowl the 10th over just before the drinks break for the Perth Scorchers, looking to get a breakthrough if they can. Davies has gone off to a pretty good start, 48 off 28. Davies on strike now to Kelly. Kelly in to Davies. And Davies defends back down the pitch, gets it past Kelly, who misfields, and they'll come through for a single. Moves on to 49. Ollie Davies. Yes, Raj. Yes, you're correct. We'll be looking to do that on the podcast this year, actually. Historical series. It's been in the plans for some time. So we're definitely going to do that. We're going to start off with Australia and their 2 test wins in India, 1969 and 2004. Looking back at those historical series wins in the lead up to this test series against India. And Australia will be hoping to add number 3 onto that list in 2023. Kelly in to Warner. He's gone. Yes, gone. Got a bit of bat on this Warner. Gave himself room. He walked over to leg stump just to try and lap it over the keeper's head. Unfortunately, that didn't quite happen. Got a bit of bat on it. Straight through to Inglis, who takes the catch. And that's the end of David Warner. Try to lap it, try to pull it, or hook it, in fact, over fine leg, but in the end, just got a bit of bat on that. Bit of bat, straight through to the keeper. He's gone. So David Warner's BBL return ends. He's gone for 19. It's 3 for 70 for the Thunder. And Alex Ross will be the new batter at the crease. Raj, you say that will be amazing. I wonder what format would it be? Is it like a 5-year period or a certain era or one series at a time? Sort of everything, Raj. We're looking back at historical series, matches. It doesn't really matter how old they are. Looking back at the game over the years in terms of how it's evolved, different types of players, certain batters and bowlers who had a significant impact on the game. So it's everything, really. It's a mixture of everything as Kelly bowls to Ross, and Ross works this out onto the offside for a single. And he's off the mark. So a wicket that the Scorchers desperately needed because David Warner was looking to tee off but couldn't get going tonight. And his BBL return ends. It's been a while since David Warner has played in the BBL. Since 2013, Kelly in to Davies. This one short. Davies pulls straight to the fielder out there at deep square leg for a single, and that will bring up his half century. Well played, Davies. 50 or 30 he's made. He's got, and it's been a good innings to get the Thunder back and going in this innings. After the loss of a couple of wickets, the partnership with Warner was handy. Now joined out there by Ross. I'll get back to that. Raj. Kelly bowls to Ross, and Ross works his to backward point for a dot ball. Everything, Raj. It doesn't have to be Australia. We'll be looking also at Australian history as well in cricket, of course, because Australia has a rich history when it comes to cricket, full stop. So we'll be looking into that as well, but also other countries as well, how they got into cricket. So all the countries who got into cricket, looking back at their past in history, and they're great players as well. So it's a mixture of both, really. Kelly, last ball the over to Ross, and Ross plays and misses this outside off stump, straight through to the keeper for no runs. The end of the over, 10 overs are done. It's time for drinks, and the Thunder are 3 for 72. 3 for 72 after 10 overs, the Thunder, and both teams will take a drink, and time for a refreshment. But thanks for joining us, everyone. I hope everyone's enjoying the stream today. Raj says, it's a very good idea. I'm excited for it. I want to know more about the Viv Richards England series in the 70s or the Gavaskar debut series in the West Indies. I don't know much about them. Yeah, that's the thing. We're just trying to, educate people on the history, Raj. A lot of people don't know a lot about the history of cricket in terms of how the laws were created, how the game was created, about all the countries, how they got into cricket, obviously. So it'll be quite interesting for people to know that. And, I'm passionate about that, and I don't mind the history myself. Quite like the history. So it's very important to do that. And that's what we're doing with this historical series. Hopefully educate people more on the history of cricket and about other things in cricket as well, which is good. And you say, Raja, pointing at Gabe. Well, Nick and Gabe have come leaps and bounds over their cricket journey. They've certainly learnt a lot over 3 years, but they've got so much more to learn. So, Thunder, 3 for 72 at 10 overs. Drinks break has just concluded. They'll be hoping to get a competitive total on the board. Davies will hold the key for them. Lance Morris, the wild thing, back into the attack. He's in to Davies. This one short. Davies doesn't time it. Hits it straight back down the pitch to Morris for a dot ball. Raj says, yeah, I am sure it will be fun, even to just research about it. Yes. It will be interesting, especially for our first couple of episodes, Raj, looking back at the 2 series wins that Australia had in India in Test cricket, and even looking back before that as well. Morris in to Davies. This one full in at the pads. Davies works it straight to mid-wicket for no run. So it'll be interesting to look back at that as well. And hopefully Australia can add another series win to their history of touring India in Test matches. They've won there twice, 1969 and 2004, as we know. So definitely going to be a challenge for Australia, but it's definitely a very good squad. It's probably our best squad that we've assembled for some time. So a good opportunity of winning, hopefully. So Morris in again to Davies. This one short. Morris. Short delivery from him, and Davies just hits it straight to mid-on for no run. So good build-up of pressure here from Lance Morris. 3 dot balls in a row. As the Sydney Thunder looking to try and get a big score on the board if they can to defend. Morris in again to Davies. This one short again from Morris, and Davies works it out to point, and it will pick up a single. Raj says, I watched 3 games in the South Africa 20. I've got to tell you, it has been pretty fun to watch. The opener was great. DeWalt Brevis was touted pretty highly, and I saw why. Yes, the new T20 league in South Africa. Yes, I haven't seen much of it, Raj. Obviously, time zones and that's early in the morning for me, so I haven't seen much of it. But from the reports, I think many people are excited by it. And as you mentioned there, it's been pretty fun to watch. Morris in to Ross. This one burst off the surface, extra bounce. Caught Ross by surprise, really. In the end, hits him on the body, trickles out to short third man for a dot ball. But so many T20 leagues happening around the world. You've got the new league in Dubai as well. You've got the Big Bash on, and you've got the T20 league in South Africa. So a lot of T20 cricket happening this time of year. So last ball the over from Morris into Ross, and this one full, and Ross backs away onto leg stump, carves it through the covers, and he'll pick up a couple of runs to win the over. End of the over, 3 for 75 after 11. Got 9 overs left, 3 for 75 for the Thunder. They'll be hoping for a big score. Ollie Davies, certainly the key, if they are to achieve that. You say, Raj, even Davon Ferreira, who is a seam bowling all-rounder, was great as well. Their team was 27 for 4 at the end of the power play when he came in, and they scored 190. It was great, clean hitting. Matt Kelly continues into Davies. Davies works it out to the offside for a single, and he moves on to 52. Raj, you also say there is good potential for the league, and it has been a good start. Yeah. Sadly, South Africa hope it is. They've invested a lot of money and just hoping to get it off and running. Often is hard when you start a new competition. Kelly into Ross. This one full, and Ross doesn't time it. In the end, it's a dot ball. try to whip it through behind square on the leg side, but in the end hits him on the pads, and a dot ball is the end result. So the Scorchers have done well just to pick up some wickets early on in this innings, but they've also done well to restrict the run scoring, which has been important as well. So Kelly getting ready to bowl his third ball to Ross. He's in, he bowls. And Ross hits it straight to the fielder onto the offside at cover. There was some confusion about a single. In the end, they just settle for a dot ball. Don't want to run out at this stage of the match. Backed away onto leg stump, gave himself room on the offside, Ross, but hit it straight to the fielder. He was fielding that extra cover there. Thinking about a single, but in the end, they decide against it. Kelly in to Ross. This one's short, and Ross hits it straight to the fielder at third man. Got an outside edge, straight down the throw to the third man fielder. That is the end of Ross. He's gone. The Thunder have lost their fourth wicket. They're 4 for 76. And Kelly gets his second wicket of this match. It was a short and wide delivery outside off stump, and Ross just threw his hands at that. Got an outside edge and a top edge and straight to third man, who takes a very simple catch. Thunder lose their fourth. Ross, he's got to go for 3. It's 4 for 76. Raj, you say there is a good... sorry, I've already read that. Here we go. Yes, say Raj, the Dubai League is called International League T20, and it is going to start today. Yes, say Raj. So we have the Bangladesh Premier League, BBL, South Africa 20, and now the International League T20 all at the same time. Yes. Too much T20 cricket on. Daniel Sams arrives at the crease. Matt Kelly's got 2 wickets, and the Thunder 4 for 76. Kelly into Sams. Sams defends. Back down the pitch for no run. So it's good from the Scorchers picking up wickets when they needed to pick up wickets. They picked up 4 wickets now. And 4 for 76 for the Thunder. Ollie Davies is still out there on 52 off 35. He's definitely the key for the Thunder. If they are going to post a competitive total that is going to challenge the Scorchers tonight. Kelly in. This one full, and Sams works it to backward point. Nearly a run out. He was halfway down the pitch, Sams. He thought he got it past the fielder at backward point. Direct hit. I believe it's a direct hit. There's going to be an appeal for run out here. I think the Scorchers have got him. They're pretty confident. I think he's gone. Daniel Sams. Will it be the 5th wicket down for the Thunder? They've already lost one in this over. That was Ross. They don't want to lose another one in a silly run out. Let's have a look. Fielder picks it up. Daniel Sams not even in the frame, not even in the picture. He's just in. Just got the dive in at the right time. The bat's grounded there and the bails lit up. The zing bails, but for Daniel Sams, a sigh of relief. It's got to be not out. He survives. End of the over, 4 for 76 after 12. 4 for 76 after 12. Nearly could have been 5 for 76. Sams wanted a run. Didn't quite get it past backward point. There was a mixed up. Confusion. Nearly a run out, but in the end, Sams made his ground. Ashton Agar was pretty convinced that was out, but so did the Perth Scorchers team. But Ashton Agar, who did the fielding there, so close. But Daniel Sams survives. So he's going to bowl this next over. Raj says the talent is divided a bit too much. Might not be the best cricket we see now, but with Given time, they all might progress. Still, they need eyes to grow, and it's going to be divided with all leagues. Well, that's the thing. You've got so many players playing in these leagues, it's very hard to distribute the talent that's on offer. As Ashton begins a new over, he bowls to Davies. This one short and wide, outside off stump. Davies runs past it. He's out stumped. And that is the end of Davies. They're 5 for 76, the Thunder. Davies is gone for 52. And the Thunder are in deep trouble now. Davies gone. They've lost some wickets. Momentum has been lost in the innings. Good delivery from Agar. Tossed it outside off stump. Davies went down the pitch. Ran past it. Couldn't get back to make his ground in time. Good take from Josh Inglis behind the stumps. Whips off the bails in a flash. Ollie Davies. He's got to go for 52. It's 5 for 76 for the Thunder. Yeah, they just lost wickets at the wrong time, the Thunder. Once they got going, and they lost a couple of wickets early on. And good partnership between Davies and Warner. And all of a sudden, they've lost a couple of wickets since that partnership. And now they're 5 for 76. And Davies, who batted really well, good half century, ran past a ball from Ashton Agar, got out stumped. Good piece of keeping from Josh Inglis. And Davies, no time to go back and make his ground. So Ben Cutting, new batter at the crease, on strike to Agar. Agar in, bowls to Cutting. This one is full on his pads. Cutting works it to the fielder on the leg side for no run. Dot ball. Agar in to Cutting. Cutting works it to backward point for a quick single. And they make it home easily in the end. No run-out problems, as we saw in the previous over with that mix-up. That nearly brought about a run-out, but in the end, no damage was done. But thanks for joining us, everyone. BBL action. And the Perth Scorchers going along nicely. Looking to get a couple of more wickets here and really put this game to bed. 5 for 77. Danger signs now for the Thunder. Agar in to Sams. This one full, and Sams drives to the fielder at long on for a single. Raj says, 100 has the most potential to grow, as apart from India, all players are most likely available, barring international commitment. Even PSL will start in February. All too close to care about. Agar in to Cutting. This one full. Cutting works it to mid-wicket for a dot ball. Well, last ball, the over. It's been a pretty good over from Agar. Got the wicket of Davies. Last ball in to Cutting. Cutting drive straight back down the ground for 4. Pass mid-on. Much needed boundary for the Thunder. Into the over. 5 for 82. Five for 82 after 13. 7 overs remain. And the Sydney Thunder are in a spot of bother at 5 for 82. 13 overs. 7 overs remain. Got to get some sort of target that's going to challenge the Perth Scorchers here. Not going to be easy for the Thunder to try and do that. The Scorchers have been pretty good this season. They've bowled pretty well and they've batted pretty well, especially in run chases. So looks like the Scorchers could be winning this game. But there's still a few more overs to go. 7 more overs for the Thunder to rustle up something. A competitive total, they hope. David Warner, first game back since 2013 in the Big Bash, and he got out a few overs ago. It's going to be Lance Morris in to Sams. This one full on his pad. Sams works it down to fine leg. Inglis in pursuit, cuts it off for a single. Got a bit leg side there. Morris didn't quite get his line right. So a single, first ball of this over. Ben Cutting on strike. He's been around in the Big Bash for some time, played for the Brisbane Heat, now plays for the Sydney Thunder. He's been here for some time, a few years now, as he gets ready to face this delivery from Lance Morris. It's going to be a fast delivery. He bowls 140 plus 150. Morris in to Cutting. This one short. Cutting pulls through mid-wicket. It's going to race to the boundary for 4 at deep mid-wicket. And a much-needed boundary again for the Thunder. Ben Cutting starting to make his intentions clear. He's going to be aggressive, look to pounce on anything that's going to be loose. And if there's a bit of width on offer, he's definitely got to pounce on it. He certainly did there with that short delivery from Morris. And he was able to work it through mid-wicket for 4 runs. Well, thanks, everyone, for joining us tonight for some BBL action. Morris in to Cutting. This one a full delivery, and Cutting defends to the fielder at cover. No run. Thanks, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the stream and just having some fun talking cricket and watching cricket. But thanks for joining us nonetheless. Let us know in the chat, what do you think is a good score for the Thunder? 5 for 87 at the moment, and they need a big competitive total if they're going to be competitive here against the Scorchers. Morris in to Cutting. This one short. Swing and a miss from Cutting. Outside off stump. Straight through to the keeper for a dot ball. 2 balls left. Yeah, got a bit of a toe in on that. Ben Cutting, in the end, got a bit of a toe end of the bat there and went straight for the keeper for no run. So he cued ended, as we say, toe end of the bat there. Morris in to Cutting. This one short. Cutting pulls straight to mid-wicket. And he's gone. Yes, he's gone. It carried. It carried to Cameron Bancroft. Ben Cutting is unmoved. I don't think it carried, he's saying. But Cameron Bancroft looks excited. The umpires are coming together for the soft signal. Soft signal is out. So let's see if this catch carried. We had a few controversial catches in the test match between Australia and South Africa that weren't given. Lance Morris, is it a fair delivery? Yep, his foot's behind the line, no problems there. Just need to see if it carried or not to Bancroft at mid-wicket. Raj, you say 140 to 145? Just having a look at this catch. It was down low. Cameron Bancroft to his right. And the umpires were convinced that it was out, but that's the soft signal. Up to the third umpire to decide. Ben Cutting was unmoved. He's got every right to stand his ground if he thinks it hasn't carried, and ask the umpires and to see if it did carry. But in the end, it has. So he's got to go Cutting. The Thunder lose another wicket that they didn't need to lose. They're 6 down for 87 now. Ben Cutting is gone for 9. Good catch from Cameron Bancroft at mid-wicket. Took that catch nicely down low. Cutting, he's got to go for 9. It's 6 for 87. Well, it's going to be difficult for them to get to that 140, 145 score now, Raj. Ben Cutting departing for 9, and a very good catch from Cameron Bancroft. So Nathan McAndrew, the bowler, comes in at the crease. And a lot of work to do for the Thunder. Try and get a score over 100, maybe 120, maybe something like that. Give them a chance. With 6 overs remaining after this, it's going to be very difficult. But no doubt for the Thunder, we are now starting to get into the lower order. Nathan McAndrew can hit it, but mainly his job in the side is a bowler. Morris into McAndrew. This one short. McAndrew leaves outside off stump, straight through the keeper for no run. End of the over, 6 for 87. Six for 87, 6 overs remain. Raj says he was left to bat. Not much for them in the batting, Raj. We're now into the bowlers, so not much for them in terms of batting prowess. Ben Cutting was sort of the last recognised batter, really. They've got Daniel Sams out there at the moment, so he can definitely hit it. So McAndrew's a tail ender. He can strike the ball, but we're now getting into the tail enders. But for the Thunder, at least they've got Daniel Sams at the crease, who can definitely hit the ball, as we know. Agar to continue to Sams. He's in. This one short outside off stump. Sams works it straight to backward point for a single. He moves on to 2, and McAndrew will be on strike to Agar. Raj, you say 125 to 130 then? I think they'll take that. From here, they'll definitely take that, being 6 down for 88, but it's not going to be enough, especially up against the Scorchers, who have been batting and bowling really well in this big bash. Agar in to McAndrew. This one short outside off stump, and swing and a miss from McAndrew, straight through to the keeper for no run. Dot ball. Agar in to McAndrew. This one full, and McAndrew drives past extra cover. The fielder at long off will cut it off for a couple of runs. 6 for 90. You say, Raj, the Test Season 2 advertising has been high. Is it out yet? Yes, it is, Raj. It's already out. It's out today, actually. So I'm excited to watch it later on this evening. Agar in to McAndrew. And this one defended by McAndrew straight back to Agar for a dot ball. Yes, it's out today, Raj. Out today. It's only 4 episodes. But can't wait to watch that later on this evening, Raj, once we've done streaming here. Can't wait to see what this season has to offer. Agar into McAndrew. This one short outside off stump. McAndrew works it through backward point for a couple of runs again. 6 for 92 for the Thunder. You have to say, Raj, what is the time period is it covering? Well, Raj, is covering from the Ashes last year to the tour in Pakistan and Sri Lanka. And pretty much that's it, really. Agar to McAndrew works this to deep square leg for a couple of runs to end the over. End of the over, 6 for 94. 6 for 94 for the Thunder. 5 overs remain. They've got to get to a competitive score if they can. Yeah, Raj, that's what they did for the last documentary. They did it from the up until the 2019 Ashes, but this one is from the Ashes last year in Australia through to the Pakistan and Sri Lanka tours, and obviously talking about what happened with Justin Langer and that, etc. So it's only 4 episodes in this season, so it'll be interesting to see what this season has to offer. Can't wait, as I mentioned, to watch it. And I know Nick and Gabe are going to do a series of reaction videos on each episode on Cricket for Americans, which is exciting to see their thoughts after they reacted to the first season. So yeah, it's definitely exciting. A lot of people want to know what's going to happen in this season as Payne comes into the attack to Sams. Top edge and gone. Caught at fine leg. First ball of the over. Sams went for the big shot. Top edge, straight to the fielder at fine leg. And Payne picks up his second wicket on debut for the Scorchers. The Thunder are 7 for 94. And they're not in a good position at the moment here. Well, he went for the big shot there, Sam's. Got a top edge and a good catch from the fielder at fine leg. In the end, a very easy catch. Never easy, but he took it easy there. So that's the end of Sam's. He's gone for 2. It's 7 for 94. And the Thunder struggling to try and get a competitive total. Yeah, he tried to pull that short delivery over fine leg's head, Sam, but in the end didn't quite time it and straight to the fielder, who did well to judge that catch off the rope. So Chris Green, the captain of the Sydney Thunder, comes to the crease. Payne into Green. This one short outside off stump. This one short coming back into Green, and Green defends to the fielder at cover for a single. Sorry, for a dot ball, actually. Hello, Han. Hope you're well. Great to see you, Han. Thanks for joining for some BBL action. I know it's not popular with some people, but, you know, it's here. We might as well just cover it. Payne into Green. Drives straight to the fielder at cover for a dot ball. But thanks for joining us, Han. Hope you're well. Raj, you say, with the Border Gavaskar 2021, the most talked about thing, I'm disappointed it is not covered. Thought JL issues were seen openly from that series, and it was a great series. Yes, it was. I think the reason why they didn't cover it, Raj, is because of the biosecurity bubbles. They couldn't access the players in a close environment, so that's why they didn't cover it, which is disappointing. But, you know, that's just the way it was back a couple of years ago. As Payne continues to Green, and Green works it through the covers, through the gap for a single. The fielder in the deep will cut it off for 1. The Sydney Thunder not in a good position here, 7 for 95 with 1 ball left of the 16th over. So I hope that helps, Raj. I think that's the reasoning behind it. So pretty much this season of the Test covers the Ashes last year, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, and what happened with Justin Langer. Swing and a miss from McAndrew. Hits him on the body for a dot ball to the end of the over. It's 7 for 95 after 16. Han, you say it doesn't involve India, so it's a refreshing change from Nick and Gabe. So 16 overs, 4 overs left, and the power surge being taken from the Sydney Thunder, 7 for 95. They're taking the power surge, so basically the power play for the next 2 overs. So power surge has been taken. And they'll be hoping to get some runs here. The Thunder try and get this total up past 100 and be competitive. I suppose not going to be easy for the Sydney Thunder to try and win this game. So Ty bowls the first ball to the power surge. Swing and a miss from Green. Straight through the keeper for no run. Raj says, yeah, understandable. Raj also says there was a show that covered the Indian side of it, though. Yes, Nick and Gabe did react to that documentary on Cricket for Americans. Ty into Green. This one's short. Pulled from Green. And straight down the fielder's throat at deep mid-wicket for a wicket. And he's got to go for 1, the Thunder skipper. And the Thunder lose their 8th wicket. Ty's got his first. It's 8 for 95. Well, it's all unravelling for the Thunder. They lost a couple of wickets early on in the innings, and now they've just lost wickets after that. Just really hasn't been their night tonight. Good catch from Ashanega. Didn't really have to do much. Simple catch out there in the deep. Raj says, so was curious about this one, but oh well. Green gone for one. It's 8 for 95. Well, the Thunder, they're not really going to bat out their 20 overs here as Brendan Doggett comes to the crease. He can definitely do his bit with the bat. Certainly in the game against the Adelaide Strikers when the Sydney Thunder were bowled out for 15 here at the Showgrounds Stadium. He was the top scorer. He got a boundary. And that 15 all out. As Hahn mentions in his comment here, we'll get back to that. Ty bowls to Doggett, played a miss from Doggett, straight through to the keeper for no run. Hahn, you mentioned about Nick and Gabe on the Sydney Thunder after the 15 all out. You say, I tried to tell Gabe that the Thunder are third in the table right now, but well, they are. They've actually done well since that game. They've played pretty well, but tonight they're not really batting well as Ty continues. Bowls to Doggett, who works it out to backward point for a dot ball. You say, Hahn, did they drop Hales because of Warner is back? No, Hahn, because Alex Hales is playing in that one of the new T20 leagues. I can't remember which one. He's either playing in the Dubai one or the South Africa one. So that's why David Warner's back for the game tonight. Ty to Doggett again. This one, so we're going to miss outside off stump for a dot ball. Yeah, so he's either playing one of those leagues, I just can't remember which one. So that's why David Warner's playing tonight. Thank you, Raj. Yeah, South Africa 20 he's playing. So just to see Raj, he is in the Mumbai Cape Town, I think. Thank you for that, Raj. As Ty bowls to Doggett, this one's short. Comes back into Doggett. Swing and a miss from Doggett. Straight through to the keeper for no run. End of the over. It's 8 for 95 after 17. 1 over left of the power surge. And actually, it was a wicket maiden over. So good over there from the Scorchers. Hahn says, pretty weird to switch leagues mid-season. Yeah, Hahn, I think it's just the new normal, really, in terms of T20 cricket. As I mentioned in the episode that we released yesterday about Test cricket, the challenge that we face is the rise of domestic T20 leagues and younger players certainly losing the ambition or drive to play Test cricket, which I mentioned in that episode yesterday. So that's definitely the big challenge for cricket in general, but also Test cricket in terms of these leagues. But it's something that we just have to try and negate as Payne continues to McAndrew. This one, a swing and a miss from McAndrew. Dot ball through to the keeper. So, yeah, it's definitely the way of the future, I suppose. These T20 leagues, which is quite... Payne in again to McAndrew. This one's short. McAndrew swings and he gets it past the deep mid-wicket fielder for 4 runs. Good shot from Nathan McAndrew. Plays his cricket for South Australia, but he plays for the Sydney Thunder in the Big Bash. Hahn says, the IPL seems the only league with enough money to stop players leaving for other leagues. Yeah, pretty much. It can't really compete the other leagues, really. But it's just the way it is. As Payne bowls to McAndrew, swing and a miss, straight through to the keeper for a dot ball. Yes, to say Hahn, Gabe also ignored comments telling him that Chris Jordan plays for the Sixers. He does. He does play for the Sixers, Jordan, who are doing pretty well in this BBL comp. The Sixers. Payne into McAndrew. This one's short. McAndrew pulls to backward square leg, or deep backward square leg in the end for 2 runs. They're coming back. Yes, they come back for 2, nearly a run out, but they make it home. Couple of runs onto the total for the Thunder. Raj says it seems to be only a league to stop other leagues from happening. Well, it is the Premier League in the world. When you have an IPL auction and large sums of money, it's quite staggering. Paying bowls to McAndrew. This one swing and a miss again from McAndrew, through to the keeper for no run. And dot ball is the result. So the Scorchers quite content, quite happy with how things are going and looking at the moment. They look pretty good for the Thunder in terms of, for the Scorchers in terms of their prospects of winning this game. Paying in to McAndrew. This one comes back into McAndrew, and McAndrew able to work it onto the leg side for a single. To end the 18th, it's the end of the over. It's 8 for 102. That's the end of the power surge, so pretty good period for the Scorchers. Didn't go for many runs of the power surge in these 2 overs. Done extremely well to keep the Thunder 8 for 102 after 18 overs. 2 overs left, and the Perth Scorchers are looking like they're going to win this game quite easily in the end. But you never know. Funny things have happened. T20 cricket's quite a unpredictable format. Han says, looks like Luke Wood is doing well, taking wickets in Australia. He is. He's bowling well. The Melbourne Stars are struggling, but he's taken some wickets, which is good for him. Melbourne Stars yesterday got a win against the Adelaide Strikers, which was a much-needed win because they're on the bottom of the table. And I know Gabe goes for the Melbourne Stars in the BBL, but looking like another season with that, as Ty continues to McAndrew. This one short, McAndrew pulls, and he'll get it to the deep mid-wicket boundary for 4. Good shot there. Just a little bit short there from Ty. He was able to latch on that. Yes, I say Han is Aussie on the Stars. No, he's on the Brisbane Heat this season, actually, Han. So the Brisbane Heat have got him as captain, which doesn't really make sense. He only plays a few games before he goes off to India. So he's only captain for a few games and then he goes off. So doesn't really make sense, but that's just the way it is. Short ball from Ty. McAndrew attempts a pull shot way over his head, but not called a wide, and it's a dot ball. But Usman Khawaja with the Brisbane Heat. He's moved from the Thunder to the Heat, and he's got a captaincy role there with the Heat. And the Brisbane Heat the other night did not quite get the job done over the Perth Scorchers. They lost that game. And they had Usman Khawaja and Marnus Labuschagne back into the side. Tie into McAndrew, and this one goes to the boundary for 4. So McAndrew's starting to tee off. A couple of boundaries for him now. This is what the Sydney Thunder needed. 8 for 110. Yes, I say, Han, I see Joe Burns is on the Stars. Say no more. Well, he's not playing for them, Han. He picked up a hamstring injury in the first game of the season, and he hasn't played since because the Melbourne Stars have been losing. They haven't been playing well, and chopping and changing doesn't help when you don't have Marcus Stoinis and Glenn Maxwell. So, it's been chopping and changing for them. Nonetheless, the Stars will be hoping to feature in the finals if they can. Tie again, short ball from McAndrew, and a brilliant catch from Bancroft again on the boundary rope. Takes a brilliant catch. That is the end of Nathan McAndrew. Hit it straight to Cameron Bancroft. He was there at long on. He took a brilliant catch at mid-wicket early on in the innings, but he's taken a brilliant catch on the boundary. And the long on region, short ball, McAndrew saw it, pounced on it, but couldn't get it past Cameron Bancroft. He took a very good catch to his right, stretching at full strength. Takes a very comfortable catch in the end. Well, it wasn't comfortable, but it made it look so comfortable watching it. But McAndrew gone for 21. It's 9 for 110 for the Thunder. And the end is nigh as Usman Khawaja, the son of Abdul Qadir, comes to the crease. He will be looking to get some runs if he can last wicket partnership required here. And the Perth Scorchers in a very strong position. The Thunder 9 for 110. We've got 1 over left. We've got 2 balls left to the 18th. We've got 1 over after this. The Thunder may not even bat the 20 overs, which they have to bat the 20 overs to try and get every run they can. Let's see what they can do here. As Ty bowls to Kadir, works it on to the leg side for a single. 9 for 111, triple Nelson. If you're a bit superstitious, I know the umpire David Shepherd was. Every time the score was on triple Nelson, he would often hop. Bit of a superstition that he had. But the Thunder, 9 for 111. 1 ball left to the 19th. And it's going to be Dogged, who's yet to get off the mark. He's faced 4 deliveries, but he's not off the mark yet. Here we go. Last ball from Ty. Into Dogged. Bowled him. And that's the end of the innings. Full and straight. Dogged went for the lofted drive straight back down the ground. He missed it altogether. And he's out clean bowled for 111 for a duck. And the Thunder are all out for 111. From 19 overs, they didn't even quite get it to the 20 overs, but they're all out for 111, the Thunder, after 19 overs, which is not what they wanted. Not quite a good batting performance for them. All out for 111, the Thunder. And you would think the Scorchers should make light work of this target. But we shall see what happens in the second innings. Nonetheless. So, Thunder all out for 111 and 112 for the Scorchers to get. Centre half forward, hello, hope you're well. Thanks for joining us. Hans says Gabe is superstitious. He talks garbage on any score above 0. Hans says 112 to win or 4 overs of Sam's. Well, the Scorchers have been chasing well this BBL season, so it's most likely that this game could be over. Not even after probably 10 overs or something. I think they'll finish off the job comfortably, I think. Centre half forward says that Bancroft catch was amazing. Yes, it was. He took couple of catches tonight. That catch at mid-wicket and the one you speak of, centre half forward at long on, pretty good catch. And, they were a pretty good fielding unit, the Scorchers, and you can see why with Bancroft. Not bad in the field, takes some comfortable catches. Alrighty then. So, at the end of the first innings, the Thunder are all out for 111. Quite interesting to see people, in terms of the poll and the chat, saying that the Thunder would win tonight. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. They will need to bowl very well for that to happen. But you would think that the Scorchers, based on their form this season, they should be comfortable to win this game. Hans says, clever from Bancroft. Take the last wicket. They won't check the ball. Yeah. Yep. Well, everyone's still talking about what happened in Cape Town all those years ago. But Cameron Bancroft, very good catch from him in the end. So 111 for the Thunder to try and defend, 112 for the Scorchers to win. I think it's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. This game should be over, I would probably think, not even close to 10 overs. I think the Scorchers will go hard in the power play and try and finish the game off, really. Centre half forward says, so I've just discovered that you can actually declare 0 for 0 without facing a ball as a team. In a case like the Sydney Test, rain ruins, you could declare without facing a ball. Yes, centre half forward, you can. you can do that. So under the laws, you can forfeit an innings. And I'm not sure how long your cricket memory goes back, centre half forward, but that has happened in Test cricket before. And if many people would remember the game I'm talking about, it's the Test match that happened with England and South Africa in Centurion in 2000. That game was affected by rain. Both England and South Africa decided to make a game of it and decided to forfeit both innings. But we all know what happened in that game, and we all know what happened with Hansi Cronje, of course. In the end, he did that based on what were his involvements with match fixing and all that stuff. So, but it has happened before. You can actually forfeit an innings. Depends on the game situation, depends on, if you want to try and make a game out of it. But in South Africa against England, that Test match in 2000, they did that, as I mentioned, for the wrong reasons, purely based on Hansi Cronje and his involvement with match fixing at that time. So if you remember that match was the only Test match in Test cricket history where that happened. So you can forfeit both innings and you can go for it. Yes, as I said, half forward. The only thing is that it sets the target for the team instead of the follow-on innings where there's 2 innings still left. Yep, there is. But many teams, would not like to forfeit an innings, obviously. As I mentioned, it depends, if you're desperate. And South Africa and England in that Test match in Centurion, they made a game of it. England won that Test match in the end. But if you remember what happened with Hansi Cronje and during that period, that game's remembered for that. So that's why many people remember that game, because it was quite a significant game and in a sort of bad way, really. Centre half forward, you say, I think New South Wales also did it in a Shield game. Really? I don't know that. I have to look back on the archives there. But yeah, it is one part of the game that you can actually do. So, yeah, if that happened in Sydney, if both teams decide to do that, make a game of it, if the 2 captains came together and said you want to forfeit both innings and stuff like that, we can definitely make a game of it. So that would have been proactive, but that rarely happens, I think. Centre half forward says a few decades ago, I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm sort of guessing it could have happened back in the real old days, I think. Back in the early years of the game, but I have to check that. But, well, it's good that you've learnt that about the laws. Being an umpire myself, I already knew that, obviously. I've seen that I have to read the laws and try and do all that stuff. But yes, you can forfeit innings, and happens very rarely. Yes, to say centre half forward, 1980s maybe. Oh yes, yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure it's happened. I'm guessing. Depends on the situation. Centre half forward. What do I umpire? I umpire club cricket. So, not the highest standard of cricket, but club cricket's reasonable. I've only done a few games over my short umpiring career, so it's but it's very good to see people learn about the laws, because not many people know about the laws all that much. But it's good that you've discovered that, so that's great. You've learned something new, which is fantastic. So I hope that answered your question there. Han says, has it ever happened where 10 players on a team get injured so cannot bat? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, really, if that's ever happened. I'm not really sure. I can't think of anything, Han, to be honest. No, I can't really think of that, really. It could have happened. It may have happened in a game, maybe. I'm not sure. It's a good question. Yes, seeing that we're got an innings break here, and we've got a bit of time. Seeing that we're talking a little bit about umpiring, it's a good opportunity to get out the umpiring questions that we usually do on the streams. We haven't done one for a while, so we might as well do some now. So I'll get that up, and we can have some fun with that. Test your knowledge, as we always do. So we'll get that up as we wait for the second innings. Seeing that we're talking about umpiring, so we might as well do a few of those questions. I had a few questions lined up for a previous watch along, but we never got around to it. So we'll do that now, and we'll have some fun and see how good your knowledge is when it comes to the laws of cricket. Han says, possibly in the days before subs were allowed to bat. Yeah, probably, I would think. Maybe you could have done in the old days of the game, probably. I'm not sure, but that's a very good question you asked there, Han. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Could have happened. It could have happened where some players have been injured, and sub fielders have come on, and probably not all the teams fit or something like that. So yeah, it's a very interesting question. May have to do some research on that and try and work that out if that's happened before. That's a quite interesting question there. Alrighty then. So seeing that we're talking about umpiring, we might as well do our umpire questions that we usually do. So I'll get that up, and we can have a bit of fun with that. Seeing that we've got the innings break here, we've got a bit of time before the second innings begins. And just get that up. Let's just get this up quickly, and then I'll get to your questions, everyone. Keep them coming. I'll be happy to answer them. Centre half forward says, what's the most courageous innings that you've seen? Are you talking about all forms of cricket, centre half forward? Are you talking about international cricket or domestic cricket or any cricket? Well, that's very hard. I've seen some good innings over the years from many different players. Played the game, of course. One courageous innings, all forms. Okay. Well, I'll have to think about that. I'll come back to that. I'll have to think about it. There's so many innings. Well, and yes, to say any cricket. Yeah. I'm just trying to think. Just trying to think what innings I've seen over the years. So many good innings, actually. Most courageous innings. So Michael Clarke's innings comes to mind when he batted with a broken shoulder in South Africa. When he got hit by Morne Morkel. That was pretty courageous. One I didn't watch live, but seen the highlights of is obviously Dean Jones scoring his double century in Madras, which is now known as Chennai. That was pretty courageous in the heat. You say centre half forward, Dean Jones. Yeah, Dean Jones. Most people would say that. David Warner this summer, that was pretty courageous in terms of battling the extreme heat. That's another good innings. There's just so many innings that you can think of. So many batters who've come in with pain and batted through a broken finger. Cameron Green, that was a courageous innings from him to come out and bat with a broken finger in Melbourne during the test match against South Africa. That was pretty courageous. Centre half forward says, "Oh, I can't remember the South African player who went out to bat with a broken hand." That's Graham Smith. Graham Smith, 2008-9. He was the last man in because South Africa were trying to hang on for a draw, and he broke his hand. I think Mitchell Johnson broke his hand. He came out to bat, last man in, and he batted through the pain. It was his bottom hand, and he got bowled in the end by Mitchell Johnson. So it was Graham Smith, South African opener, captain. Very good captain, very good player. So we're about to begin the second innings. There should be a quick run chase for the Scorchers, and this game should be finished not very long. Hans says Michael Atherton facing Alan Doddle while having no talent was pretty courageous. Well, that was a pretty good spell of bowling, Han. You know, Atherton and Donald, that was pretty good. Good spell of bowling there. He was very quick bowler, Alan Doddle, for South Africa. He was very quick. Centre half forward says, "Have you seen the pictures of Hanscom when he got hit in the hip?" Yes, I did. I saw the video. Not nice. After you've been selected for the Test Tour of India, you get an injury to your hip. So let's hope Peter Hanscom's okay. He's got he's got some tissue damage in his hip, which is not good. So the first over, and it's going to be Dogged to bowl to Eskenazi. He's an overseas player for Middlesex, playing in the Big Bash, defends on the front foot for no run. Yes, to say centre half forward, they were cracked all over the pitch, though, for Smith. Yeah, that SCG wicket had cracks in it and very difficult for batting. I remember watching the highlights of that match ages ago. It was Dogged bowls to Eskenazi. This one outside off stump, playing a miss, a run. Yeah, but a pretty courageous innings to come out with a broken hand and try and face Mitchell Johnson, who broke it in the first innings. Hans says, was it Brian Close who faced the West Indies fast bowlers with no helmet and got battered on the body? Yes, it was Han. I think he was 40 years old or something. And he came out there and he faced them and he was ducking and dodging and weaving. He got through it though, Brian Close. Dogged bowls to Eskenazi. This one down the leg side into wide. Signalled by Paul Wilson, the umpire. Yes, it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was 40. I'm pretty sure I saw it on YouTube, Han, somewhere, the clip of Brian Close actually facing the West Indies quick bowlers. But to do that at 40 years old is pretty remarkable. As Dogged bowls to Eskenazi, this one full and straight, traps him on the pads. There's an appeal for LBW, and in the end, the umpire says not out. It looked pretty good, but where did it pitch? That's the question. Did he get a bit of bat on it? They've got a review. You've only got one review in BBL, so you don't want to waste it. Yes, Han, I'll answer your question here, Han, that you answered ages ago. What happens if the umpire is injured? I'm talking about club level, where they're only two. Excuse me. Then both teams will probably agree that the one umpire who's left standing and not injured, Han, can go out and umpire the match, and then someone from the batting side fills in at square leg. So that's usually how it works. So I hope that's answered your question there. Centre half forward, we'll get to it in a minute. I'm just trying to answer these questions. I've got 4 umpiring questions from the book that I have. And they're quite handy, actually. There's over 300 umpiring conundrums in this book. So we haven't even scratched the surface. So we'll get to it in a minute, centre half forward. I know you're waiting for the questions there. Dogged to Bancroft. This one down the leg side. And then this one's worked through the square, through mid-wicket to the mid-wicket boundary. They'll cut it off for 3. The book's called... I'm I know you. Well, you better not cheat, Han, because I know you bought the book. You told me when I was on Cricket for Americans. Just my mind's gone blank for a minute. Han, what's the name of the book? I just forgot for a moment there. It's as Dogged bowls to Eskenazi. This one goes out to backward point for a dot ball. It's the end of the first over. It's none for 5. The name of the book, centre half forward, that you ask. Name of the book is. I'll get that. There we go. Thank you, Han. Yep, it's called You're the Umpire, 300 Cricketing Conundrums. So I hope that's answered the question, centre half forward. As you said, just out of interest, it would be good to get. Yeah, so 300 umpiring conundrums. So we'll get through some of your questions in the chat, and then we'll get to the umpiring questions. I know everyone's eager to have a go at these questions. I'm just trying to see who, what comments I missed out. As Chris Green is into the attack, the spinner, captain of the Thunder. He's going to be bowling to Bancroft, who's on 3. And he's in now to Bancroft. This one, outside off stump, Bancroft dispatches it. Pass, cover point. Won't quite go to the boundary, but he'll get a couple of runs. Let's see. Centre half forward, you said, and it's not very nice when Johnson is steaming in, and it's late in the day, and he's hitting cracks every single ball. Second ball. No, it's not. Not pleasant facing Mitchell Johnson, but he was a very good bowler, especially that Ashes series. 37 wickets at an average of nothing, basically, was pretty good. This one's swept by Bancroft behind square on the leg side for a couple of runs. Han says, was it Johnson bowling when Michael Clark warned of a broken arm? Yes, it was, Han. It was at the Gabba first test to James Anderson. Johnson was bowling to Anderson, then Clark said that line, obviously. Get ready to have a broken arm. I'm not going to say the other word because it's not friendly for a family program. But if you've seen it on YouTube, yes, that's what he said. Bit of spice in that first test. Bancroft hits it straight to the fielder at cover. Han says, be warned about the drawing of Steve Smith. Han says, I'm guessing that this ain't the Thunder that men at work were singing about. All righty then. We've got 2 balls left of the second over. Bancroft on 7, green, none for 4. Yes, centre half forward. Yep, that's what Michael Clark said to Anderson. Yep. So you can fill in the blank there. I'm not going to say that because it's a family program, of course. We have to keep it within those guidelines. But yes, if you've seen it on YouTube, that's what he said. And it was a pretty dominant bowling performance from Johnson there. He got the last wicket in the end in that innings. And Australia won the first test and went on to win 5-0, which has only happened 3 times before. First one was Warwick Armstrong back in 1920-21 Ashes series. Captain of Australia won 5-0 there. Ricky Ponting 2006-07 won 5-0. And Michael Clark won 5-0 in 2013-14. So it's only happened 3 times in an Ashes series. A boundary to finish for the Scorchers. It's none for 14 after 2. We'll start from them. All right. We'll get into the umpiring questions. And we'll bring that up now, actually. All right, there we go. So that's the first umpiring question that we have. Okay, question number 1. A non-striker stands on the same side of the wicket from which the ball is being delivered. A bowler whose action takes him closer to the wicket complains. What action do you take? So as an umpire, what do you do in that situation? As Brendan Doggett bowls this delivery, gets a single. So I'll leave it there for everyone to get in their responses before we reveal the answer. It's a pretty straightforward one, this one. Joe Root, Han, you say Joe Root to Virat Kohli when Dom Bess was bowling. Great. Get ready for a sore neck, looking over to the third strip there. As dogged bowls to Eskenazi, whips it through the square leg region for 4 runs. That's a boundary there for the Scorchers. Centre half forward says, have you seen all the things Payne said behind the stumps? Well, I've seen the compilation of his banter behind the stumps, yes. And you say centre half forward. They're pretty disturbing. Hans says, I'm guessing you tell the non-striker to move if you feel he is being impeded. Dogged to Eskenazi, who ramps this over the keeper's head for 6. Very good shot from Eskenazi. And 6 runs, first 6 of the innings. Centre half forward says, ask the batsman to move over to the other side. Pretty good answers there. Pretty good responses. It's a pretty obvious one. Pretty straightforward. This answer here. Dogged. To Eskenazi, who works it past short fine leg for 4. That's another boundary for the Scorchers. All right, the answer to question 1 is the bowlers and umpire should instruct the non-striker to stand where he does not impede or obstruct members of the fielding side. This is a lawful instruction that must be obeyed. The non-striker cannot choose to stand on the side he likes, which is pretty straightforward. So, yep. Well done, Han. Well done, centre half forward. Correct. Get a point. As dogged bowls, this one full on his pads. Eskenazi works it backward of square for a couple of runs. So there you go. That's the answer to question 1. So well done, Han. Well done, centre half forward. Correct. Pretty obvious there. So the non-striker has to stand to the opposite side that the bowler is bowling, depending if he's bowling around or over the wicket. The non-striker has to stand on the opposite side. But in special circumstances, the umpire can allow the non-striker to stand on the other side where the bowler's bowling, if that allows that. It's the end of the over. It's number 32. Just another thing there. So in a special circumstance or anything like that, the umpire can allow the non-striker to stand on the same side as the bowler. Depends if, circumstances allow that, which there is something in the laws to accommodate that. So you can stand on the same side. Han says, does the hand the bowler delivers with have any effect? Well, as a bowler, you state to the umpire that you're bowling right arm over the wicket. Every delivery that you bowl. So if you don't do that, then obviously it's a no ball, obviously, because you are not bowling which you have stated. So I think it does. I don't think it does. I have to look at that, but it doesn't really matter, I don't think. Just from the top of my head, but I have to look at the laws and that, see if that's the case. Ball there from McAndrew, who's into the attack. First over for him. All right, so that's question 1. So question 2. And McAndrew again to Eskenazi. This one swing and a miss, straight through to the keeper for no run. Han says, I mean, a lefty bowling around the wicket has his arm further from the non-striker. Yeah, I don't think he'll have any problems at all, I don't think, Han. I think it's pretty fine there. So McAndrew to Eskenazi. He bowls this one full on the pads. Eskenazi whips it through square leg, through mid-wicket, I should say. Good fielding there on the rope. A couple of runs. Sam's does the fielding. All right, so question 2. In a village match, a batsman drives the ball straight down the pitch where, without bouncing, it somehow lodges between the stumps. The bowler pulls it out and appeals for a catch. What now? This is a pretty obvious one. So I hope that's answered your question, Han, about that. I'm not really sure about that. I have to look at the laws again. It just check those areas of where the batsman has to stand and all that with the bowler. So I'll get back to you on that. Centre half forward says McAndrew hits the crease so hard. Yes, he does. Good first over here for him. 3 runs off it. Centre half forward says not out because it was up. Sorry, let me try and say that again. Not out because it was held up by an object. That's a good response. McAndrew to Bancroft, who works us through mid-wicket for a couple of runs at least. Come back for a couple. Good running. Han says, dead ball. The ball is unplayable and the bails are still on. Yeah, pretty good response there as well, Han. All right, the answer to that is signal out. Caught. The ball did not touch the ground and so it is still alive. So I'm pretty sure many people will be shocked to hear that, but it's out under the laws. It's out. Didn't touch the ground. Got dislodged in the stumps. Fielding side appealed for it, and umpire gave it out. Caught. So that's the end of the over. It's none for 37. Yeah, Han. I'm not sure because you would think it's an obstacle, it's an obstruction. But in the case of what's happened here, you would give it out, caught, because it didn't touch the ground, as it says in the answer. Yeah, I was confused when I had a look at the answer at this one because I thought, well, it should be a dead ball because you can't. It's like when the ball lodges in someone's equipment, their pads or helmet or even sweater. You can't claim a catch like that because the ball's dead. As the spinner, Kadir bowls to Eskenazi, who works it to mid-wicket for no run. So I was quite surprised by the response to this answer, really. But it is out. According to the answer here, you'll give it out, caught. The ball did not touch the ground, so it's still live. Centre half forward says, has the bails fallen off? No. We go back to the question, which is stated there. So it says the batsman drives the ball straight back down the pitch without bouncing. It somehow lodges between the stumps. The bowler pulls it out and appeals for a catch. So I'm guessing the bails were probably dislodged if the ball did go into between the stumps, obviously. Yeah, I wasn't sure with this one, to be honest, because I thought it was the dead ball, but I may have to do some further investigation on that. Hans says, could the non-striker kick the ball away? I think you'll get penalised if you did that, Han, because I think you're pretty much obstructing the field there, I think. Yeah, I'm stumped, to use that cricket saying. I'm stumped on this one. It just doesn't make sense to me, I don't think, because surely it must be a dead ball. You can't claim a catch if it's like that. I can understand it hasn't touched the ground. Yeah, I have to do some further research on that. Hart says it is a catch, so the batsman not interfere at all. Well, no one really interfered with it. He just hit the ball straight back to the stumps, and it got stuck in between the stumps without touching the ground. So, yeah, it's an interesting response here. I think you're right there, Han. I think you're right. You say it must be that the stumps are considered part of the field and not an obstacle. Yeah, probably that is the case because, well, the stumps are a part of the game, obviously. So that could be right. Yeah, I'll have to do further more research on that. But the answer says it's out, caught. The ball didn't touch the ground. But it is a cricket conundrum that doesn't really happen at all, really. It's a rare occurrence. So it's better to know these things. Centre half forward says pretty unlucky with the bails falling off. Well, in the case of that, if the bowler touched the ball and it went back onto the bails and it got dislodged and the non-striker was out of his or her ground, it will be interesting to see if that's actually a run out. To be honest, that's another conundrum there. If you think about it, the batsman hits it straight back, the bowler touches it, dislodges into the stumps, bails are removed, batter's out of their crease. Is the batter out, run out in that case? That's another cricket conundrum. But cricket's full of these weird sort of conundrums in terms of laws. But that's question 2. Question 3. As Daniel Sams gets the second ball of his over to the boundary for 4. Good shot from Bancroft, rocked back on the back foot, pulled that nicely behind square for 4 runs. The Scorchers are making light work of this chase, none for 45 as we speak. From 5.2 overs, it's been a pretty good run chase for them. All right, question 3. The wicketkeeper is standing up to the stumps when the usually medium-pace bowler sends down an extra fast one that passes the bat, strikes the keeper on the arm, and rebounds onto the wicket, removing the bails. The batsman is still in his crease, but is he out? That's question number 3. Can you get your responses there? Question number 3. Before we reveal the answer. Come back to that. As Sams bowls his 4th delivery to Eskenazi. He's in. Eskenazi works it straight to backward point for no run. Dot ball. 66 off 87 required for the Scorchers. They get a single, in fact, for that last delivery. Hahn says not out. Bowled has to be direct from the bowler's arm and not touching any other person. Centre half forward says if the bowler hasn't touched the ball and it hit the stumps and the bails fell off and the non-striker was out of his crease, the bowler would have to take the stump off and actually hit the stump with the ball in his hands. Yes, that is correct. Centre half forward, yep. Spot on. If that was the case, with that other conundrum that I mentioned previously, you are 100% correct that the bowler would have to remove the stump at the same time with the ball in his hand. As soon as he removing the stump out of the ground, he has to have the ball in contact with it at the same time. Last ball the over from Sams. Bancroft works it off his hip for a square leg for a single. It's the end of the over. It's none for 48 after 6. All right, we'll get to the answer. It may be the... yes, it did, centre half forward. Yes, it did. It was Pat Cummins who did that. He got the ball and the stump out of the ground at the same time. That was back in 2019-20 during that summer at the Gabba. It happens rarely, but it's important for all bowlers to know that. And it's important for players to know that part of the law as well. Centre half forward says not out. It could have been a run out, but he is still in his crease. Good response. Centre half forward. Hans says, I mean any other fielder. So all right. Let's reveal the answer as Kadir comes into the attack to bowl his second over. All right, here we go. So the answer to question 3 is no. The batsman cannot be bowled from a rebound off the wicketkeeper. But had he left his ground, he would have been out-stumped. Also, he could have been out-run out if he had left his ground and attempting a run, which is important to remember there. So well done to those who got it right. Oh, nice delivery from Kadir. Past the outside edge. Bit of turn there. Kadir in again to Bancroft, and Bancroft dispatches him over the rope, straight back down the ground for 6. And very good shot from Cameron Bancroft. He's in good touch with the bat in this BBL season. Centre half forward says, and Smith nearly got run out by the Sri Lankan bowler. Didn't come in contact with the stump with the ball. Yes, I remember that as well. Yeah, the Sri Lankan bowler didn't quite execute the run out like Pat Cummins did. He sort of was off timing there. So, but it's a very rare thing that happens in the game. Happens very rarely, but you got to know those things when it comes to the actual run out itself. Another one you can you don't really see that often. If you disturb the wickets and you break the wickets before you collected the ball, and if the stumps are out of the ground, you can actually remake the wicket. So you can actually put the stumps back into the ground, put the bails on top, and then perform the run out. Often that one doesn't happen because you have less time to do that, of course. But that's another way of completing a run out in cricket, which is one of those things in cricket where many people go, what? You can actually do that? Yes, you can. That's a boundary there for Eskenazi, another boundary. This partnership rocketing along for the Scorchers. None for 61 after 7. None for 65, I should say. I've lost track. None for 65 after 7. They've done pretty well. The Scorchers chasing 111. Thank you, centre half forward. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you here, and thank you for dropping by. All right, our last umpiring question of the evening. We've only had 4 questions tonight, so this is the last one. Be interesting to hear your responses. Hans says a batsman can deflect onto his own wicket and it counts, but no fielder can affect the delivery. Yep, that's spot on there, Han. Han says, can you have the ball in both hands and pull the stump out, or does it have to be one-handed? So basically, Han, it has to be at the same time. So as soon as you remove the stump out of the ground, you've got to have the ball next to it like that, and then you pull it out of the ground. So you've got to have it in contact at the same time. So for the run out to be effective. If you don't do that, then it's not out. So that's what you got to do. Han says, do you have to remake the whole wicket or just put on the stump back in? I'm pretty sure you have to remake the whole wicket, Han. So if all the stumps are out of the ground, you can put the stumps back in the bails. So you have to remake the whole wicket. You can't just put one stump in and put the bail on top like that. No, that's not sufficient enough. So you have to put everything back in and reset the wicket as it was. And then you can perform the run out or stumping or whatever. So it's just one of those things in the game where people just have to know about that. So question 4 is, on a turning pitch, the batsman comes down the wicket to the slow bowler, confident that because he advances more than a third of the way down the pitch, he is too far away for the wicket for the umpire to justify LBW. Is he right? Now, this one's a pretty straightforward one in itself. But when it comes to international cricket, there's a different way of interpreting this when it comes to technology. Last ball from Green to Bancroft. This one's short outside off stump. Bancroft works it through the offside for a single. End of the over, none for 70 after 8. So the Scorchers making light work of this chase and doing it easily. Han says, question 4, the batsman is wrong. It depends on the trajectory of the ball. If the umpire thinks it would have hit the wicket, then it is out. Yep, good response there, Han. That's a very good answer there. All right, so we'll reveal the answer. And it is yes. The batsman is right. The length of a pitch is 66 feet. So the interception is made 22 feet from the wicket, a distance that would make a call of LBW very unreliable. What's more, if the ball turns, swings, or moves off the pitch, the more difficult it is to guess where it is likely to go. To give a batsman out under these circumstances would be enormous guess and a diabolical decision. Not even the much heralded Hawkeye could say that this ball would have hit the wicket. So it's a general rule of thumb as an umpire, really. If a batsman is down the pitch by a significant margin, you would think if it's trapped him on the pads and taken that into consideration, you would think it's probably not going to go on and hit the stumps because it's just too much guesswork in that, really. Yeah. So Han says, so you could face Warren, go right down the pitch and let it hit your pads every time. Weird law. Yeah, pretty much, because it's just too much guesswork. As an umpire, really taking a very calculated risk in terms of giving that out. So that's why you need your square leg colleague to say he's, out of his crease. Just to say, yeah, he's standing out of his crease. So just in case for LBWs, okay, he's out of his crease, so more likely the ball's going to go over the top of the stumps, or it's going to miss the stumps in general. So, but with technology, this is the thing with technology. If it's DRS, ball tracking can't predict 3 feet down the wicket or 3 meters down the wicket because it's just too much of a guesswork, really. So really, you've seen that in technology quite a few times where teams have reviewed, actually, where a batter has gone down the pitch and it's more than 3 meters. Ball tracking cannot predict more than 3 meters down the wicket because it's just too much of a gamble, and ball tracking can't really predict that far. The technology is limited in some way. So that's the answer to question 4. And that's the end of our umpiring questions. So thanks for taking part, everyone. Good to see everyone having a go and learning the laws of cricket at the same time, which is fantastic. Hans says, could you sanction the batsman if you thought it was a deliberate tactic that is used repeatedly? I don't think there is any laws for that, Han. I don't think, because the batsman can do what he wants. He can stand out of his crease as a way to negate swing, seam, or even get to the pitch of the ball for the spinners early. So there's no law to stop him from doing that, really. So there's no sanctions for that. I don't think there could be something under unfair play to suggest that. I don't think I saw anything to suggest that. I don't think. Because really, you know, as a batsman, you can do that. You can stand out of your crease. You can do all those things to try and negate the bowler. So you're not doing anything untoward there. So I don't think there's any sanctions on that. Yes, Sehan, I guess the laws will say if he misses it, it's an easy stumping. But it's surely against the spirit of the game if someone does that. Does that. Yep, you would probably say that. It's probably against the spirit of the game. But there's no laws to stop that, I don't think. I'll have to look at that. But if there is, then it will probably be under Law 41, which is unfair play, to be honest. Yeah, it's quite an interesting discussion. As McAndrew got the first wicket for the Thunder, got rid of Eskenazi, the 1 for 77 after 9, the Scorchers, chasing 111. So that's a good start from the Scorchers. Good opening partnership, really, just to make light work of the chase. 111 to win. 112, I should say. As Chris Green comes to the middle. Well, comes to the bowling crease. He's about to bowl his third over. Got 9 overs. Have been completed. Hans says, could a bowler deliver it high over the batsman and dropping to the wicketkeeper to stump him? Well, if that's the case, Han, then if it's a full toss above the waist, then it's a no ball. So then it will not be out. Because you can't, if he's attempting to not run and he's down the wicket, because you got to remember, for a stumping to happen, you've got to be not attempting a run for it to be credited as stumped. If it's a run out, you're looking to go for a run. So you can be run out on no ball. If it's above the waist and the batter's out of their crease and they're looking to run a single, then you would say he's out run out. He or she is out run out. But if it's if he's not attempting a run and he's looking just to stay in his crease and not really interested in a run, then it can't be out stumped, because you can't be out stumped on a no ball. You can be stumped off a wide, but not a no ball. So if you look at it that way, if that's the case, as Green bowls to Hardy, who works it on to the offside for a single. Yes, Sehan, it would arrive at the crease below waist height. The batsman is halfway down the pitch. Oh, yes. Sorry. Yeah, then he would be out stumped. Yeah. If it's below the waist, dipping below, he's out of his crease, not attempting a run, then he's out stumped. If he's attempting a run, then he's out run out. Either way, but still out. So, yeah. That makes sense as well. It's quite interesting to discuss these conundrums, because they don't really happen all that often. There's another single there from the Scorchers, 1 for 80 now, 112 for them to win. BBL action. As Green bowls to Hardy. Reverse sweep, and he picks out the fielder at deep point for 1. 1 for 81 for the Scorchers. So 9.5 overs have been bowled with just 1 over left from the drinks break. 31 required off 61 for the Scorchers. They're going to win this game easily as Bancroft reverse sweeps this delivery behind square on the offside for a couple of runs. He dives, he makes it home. It's the end of the over. It's 1 for 83 after 10. Time for drinks. After 10 overs here of second innings. Thunder in the Scorchers. Hunt says, so the bowler can see the guy is halfway down the pitch and do a Florian delivery over his head, dropping to a normal height at the stumps. Yes, because really, in a way, you're a bowler and you're trying to deceive the batsman. So if that's a way of deceiving the batsman, then yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You can do that. Yeah, toss it up high, dips below waist height, more importantly, and you can get a wicket from that if you can. So, yeah. I don't see any problems with that, huh? Hans says, what would happen if you bounced him? Oh, well, that'd be interesting. If you bounced him, well, it'd be one for the over. Or if it, was well over his head, it could be a wide. Yeah, so you will probably say 1 for the over or 2 for the over or whatever. Depends what format you're playing. Other, multi-day cricket or limited overs cricket, depends. So you just probably say 1 for the over. And in the case of these days, you'll probably say, right, you need to get checked out for concussion. So we need to get that checked out and be all sorted there. So I think that's what I would do if I was umpiring and that happened. I'd just probably say that's 1 for the over, or if it's over his head, it's a wide. So Perth Scorchers chasing 111 that the Sydney Thunder made. So 112 for them to win. They're on track. I don't think they're going to lose the game from here. It's going to take a miraculous bowling performance from the Thunder if that happens. Hans, you say, Han, I'm thinking it smashes him hard because he is near where it pitched. Would the bowler get a warning? I don't think he'll get a warning, Han. I don't think he'll get a warning. I don't think it depends if you're in intermediary bowling. So if you're bowling short balls and constantly, then the umpire will step in and say, yeah, a warning here because you're intimidating the batter in some way. So you would warn him for that. But if he just bowled a short ball and hit him, I think the batsman's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. So at the end of the day, it comes to umpire discretion. I think, if he's intimidatory bowling, then you would give a warning and say, you better stop what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to get penalised. So as McAndrew bowls to Bancroft, works it down to third man for a single. Yes, to say, Han, in my mind, the batsman is encroaching on the bowler's turf, and the pitch belongs to the bowler to deliver it where he chooses. Yes. It depends if he's standing outside the danger zone, Han, because as a batsman, you can stand a certain distance out of your crease, but you can't stand where the 5 feet markers are, because that begins the danger zone of the pitch, which is the whole pitch in the middle of the pitch. So you can't really damage that area. So if you're touching on that area, then the umpire will have a quiet word and say, hey, I've noticed that you've, standed way outside your crease in terms of the danger zone. So if you keep your foot off that, we'll be fine. I remember David Warner in a test match. He got warned by, I can't remember who the umpire was, but he got warned for standing outside the danger zone, and his front foot went inside that danger zone when he was playing a shot. I think it was at the MCG last summer in the Ashes, I think, or something like that. I can't remember, but he got warned for that. As I say, Han, could you warn the batsman for damaging / affecting the pitch? He is way outside of the crease in this scenario. Yes, you can. If the batsman's damaging the pitch, so if he's standing outside the 5 feet markers in terms of the where the danger zone starts on the pitch. So when you see a cricket pitch, you will see the little markers on the side of the pitch. So if the batsman stands outside of that and he damages the pitch there, the umpires will have a word with him and with his partner and with the incoming batsman coming in at the middle. So you can warn them for that. Also, if the batsman runs on the pitch, you warn them. I remember David Warner got warned in the test match against New Zealand in Sydney. Allingdar warned him for running on the pitch and gave him 5 penalty runs to the fielding side because of that. And David Warner, was quite surprised by that. But actually looking at it, I was like, I think Allingdar was right in that situation because he was running on the pitch. You got to get off the pitch. As soon as you played the shot, you got to get off the middle of the pitch. So he was warned for that. So if that happens, you issue a 5-run penalty, and then you warn every batsman that you've got 1 warning. The final warning, if you do it again, we're just going to give 5-run penalties because you're damaging the pitch in some way, which is unfair to the bowling side because it's changing the conditions of the pitch. That's a single there for the Scorchers, 1 for 88 after 11. Yes, Sehan. He is in line with the stumps, but he went 6 meters towards the bowler to avoid the LBW. Yes, just depends where he is, really. If he's in the danger zone, then you'll warn the batter there. 6 meters down the pitch, yeah. Yeah, he will be well inside the danger zone because it's 5 feet from the popping crease where it starts. So he will be definitely in that danger zone. So you'll give him a warning because he's damaging that part of the pitch. So you'll give him a warning there. Just get off that area because we want to keep the pitch undamaged and let it deteriorate naturally. That's a good shot there from, I believe it was Aaron Hardy. Straight back down the ground to long off for 1 bounce over the rope for 6, I'm guessing, or 4. Hans says, could the wicketkeeper complain that he is obstructing his view of where the ball is going? He could. But I think at the end of the day, I just think as a keeper, you just have to deal with that, really. Because really, when keepers stand up to spinners, they don't see the ball for a split second. So in this case, I think it's the same as well. He can definitely inquire about that, but I don't think anything will happen. If the batsman did it deliberately, intentionally, like for an obstructing the field scenario, then yes, then the wicketkeeper has every right to appeal for that, because in a way, a wicketkeeper is a fielder as well, and he has every right to field the ball. So if the batsman, obstructs him in some way of doing that, then yes, he will be given out obstructing the field. Yes, to say, Han, if the batsman is miles down the pitch, could he argue he cannot see where the ball is pitching? Well, I think he probably needs to go to his optometrist, I think. That's a bit concerning if you can't see where the ball's pitching. So he probably needs to go to the optometrist, I think, Han, there. But, he can definitely complain. If the sight screen's not in the right place, he can complain about that. Depends if you have a sight screen or not. Depends if you have that in operation, because most clubs around the world You don't really have a sight screen. I know where I play, we don't have sight screens. So it depends on that as well, if you have a sight screen or not. In that case. But he can definitely inquire about it and just say, I'm just having a little bit of trouble seeing the ball. Can we just cover up something or something? If they don't have a side screen, you can just ask him. Ask the umpires for that. That'll be fine. Because in a way, sort of his safety is sort of jeopardized, really, in a way. If he can't see, then you got to sort that out. Yes, to say, Han, I mean the wicketkeeper complaining that because the batsman is so far down the pitch, he is blocking the view of the pitch and when the ball is landing. Yeah. Yeah, he will definitely, he can inquire about that, saying, well, I can't really see the ball because the batsman's in the way, really. But I think it just comes down to the batsman and what sort of position he's getting into, really. And as a wicketkeeper, you sort of got to go around that, I suppose. It's just the way it is. But an interesting discussion nonetheless. Interesting. But it comes down to common sense, I think, at the end of the day. In that sort of scenario, I think. Common sense, your own discretion as an umpire, or if you have your partner there as well. Just comes down to that sort of thing. So that was the end of the 12th over, 103 for 1. And not far away now for the Scorchers and wrapping up this match and winning another game in this BBL season. It's been pretty good performance from them tonight. Thanks, Han. Thanks for dropping by. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a great day. And yeah, we'll be streaming next. I don't know when, but we will be. Another BBL game, seeing that the international summer is finished. But thanks for dropping by again, Han. Hope you have a good day, and we'll see you next time. So 105 for 1. Light work the Scorchers are making of this run chase. And the Scorchers are well on track. Just need a few more runs, 7 more runs to win to wrap up this match. Bancroft works it to Sams at mid-wicket. Sorry, Sams bowls to Bancroft, and Bancroft hits it straight to the fielder at mid-wicket. And it's no run. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. And the Scorchers looking to get the job done quickly. Sams to Bancroft, works it onto the leg side for a single. 1 for 106. 112. Only 6 more runs required for the Scorchers. They can finish it off with 1 blow and wrap up this match and wrap up this game. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I hope everyone has enjoyed tonight's stream. It's been great interacting, talking to everyone, answering questions about umpiring and other things as well, which is good. And I hope everyone has enjoyed it. Certainly I have. Sams to Hardy, hits it straight back down the ground, over the rope for 6. That's the end of the game. And the Scorchers win by 9 wickets. A convincing victory by the Perth Scorchers. They have won by 9 wickets. And it has been a very convincing victory by the Perth Scorchers. They've outplayed the Sydney Thunder tonight. And it's been a very dominant victory by the Perth Scorchers. They've won by 9 wickets, And a 6 from Aaron Hardy, straight back, down the ground, over the rope. And that is a very good way to finish this game. 6 runs, and that is the end of this game. The Scorchers have won by 9 wickets, and a very good win for the Perth Scorchers. For the Sydney Thunder, David Warner's first game back in Thunder colours hasn't gone to plan, losing this game. But the Perth Scorchers are the team to beat in this BBL season, and they've shown us why they are the team to beat, winning quite convincingly by 9 wickets. There we go. Alrighty then. That's the end of the game. The Scorchers have won by 9 wickets, and thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for joining us. It's been great. Do stick around on the podcast. We've got some exciting episodes coming your way. And we've also got some more live stream and watch-alongs planned for the rest of this BBL season. So do stick around for that. Make sure you click the bell to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, so you don't miss out on these live streams and watch-alongs. But yeah, that's all we got for tonight. Thanks everyone for joining us. Before we go, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. And the podcast is now available on Anchor, Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you check us out on all those platforms. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Until next time, keep safe and bye for now.